Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be discussing the mental aspect of starting a fitness journey. Where do you begin? To me, I think the biggest changes came for me not when I necessarily was physically working on my goals, but rather when I started grasping onto the concept of the psychological aspects. I kind of hate long intros, so let's just jump right into it. Tip number one, if disliking your body was enough for you to change, you'd be done already. You wouldn't even be watching this video. You've got to be more concerned with your health, and you have to love yourself enough to do better for yourself. I think everyone kind of starts a fitness journey and a fitness lifestyle with wanting to look better, and then it kind of grows into a love of health and fitness in the lifestyle and wanting to be the best person that you can be overall, not just physically. Loving yourself and rather than hating yourself is one of the key components in really pushing yourself to that next step. Anyone can, follow the guidelines of the formula. You eat this, you work this out. A squared plus B squared equals C squared, What really started happening for me was I stopped eating or not eating for the goal of looking better, for being slimmer and losing weight. And instead I started seeing food as fuel and eating for the activity I was gonna do later. Instead, I changed my image of hating my body to loving my body and treating it well and with kindness and giving it what it needed so that it could perform for me and for what I wanted to do. You have to be able to sit down and say, hey, I love myself, so I'm gonna do what's right for me, which is eating right and exercising for longevity, and so that you can balance your brain chemistry and be happier and feel better in your body, not necessarily just because you look better. That's really just icing on the cake, but because you physically can sit in your body comfortably. Tip number two, implementing baby steps slowly. You weren't this person with this lifestyle before, so you can't expect yourself to just at the snap of your fingers be this brand new person with all these routines and this brand new lifestyle. You're gonna burn yourself out. Say if you go on a diet and cut everything out cold turkey, chances are you're gonna go nuts and you're gonna cave and it's not gonna work for you. It's not sustainable. I like to use the metaphor of, I saw this picture and there were two ladders and two guys. And one ladder, the steps were really close together, really small, and that man was standing up high on the ladder. And on the other ladder, the steps were much further out to the point where the other guy never left the ground because he couldn't even reach that first step. You have to make sure that your goals are small and achievable. Otherwise, you'll never even get on the board. You'll never get anywhere. Like I said, you can't just expect yourself to be this brand new person and do all these great things. Like Usain Bolt became the world's fastest man not overnight. He started very small, I'm sure. At one point he was a little boy and probably wasn't running like 8-second 100 meters, I can't remember what his record is, but it's probably close. It's making those small changes that you can work on every day that really lead up to the bigger picture. When an artist paints a picture, he starts with one brush stroke at a time. He doesn't go in with a brush between every finger and start going at it. That would just, I'm sure there might be someone who can do that. I don't know. But that's that one in 7 billion, It's really important to understand that it is the little steps that you implement every day that make the most progress, the quickest, the fastest, or the quickest and the most efficient. And with that, you have to understand that patience is key, and that you may not see results right away, but you will see results eventually. And it's different for everyone. And it doesn't have to be just one baby step like every month, you know yourself, so take on what you think is appropriate and what you know you can do. And just don't burn yourself out. My next tip is about sustainability. Short-term challenges are fun, they're totally fine, and they can get you motivated because they're fun, but you can't expect to push yourself and your body and restrict yourself like that for long periods of time without going crazy. It's important to make sure that what you're doing is something that you can do for the rest of your life. That's the entire reason why diets don't work, because they're for a short period of time to reach a goal, which is typically weight loss. And once people are done, they're like, all right, I did it, I'm done. And then they revert completely back to their old lifestyle. They haven't implemented any new habits. Things like juicing and stuff like that, it's like a prison sentence. Like, that is something no one looks forward to, dreads the entire time, doesn't teach you anything, and you can't wait for it to be over so you can finally get back to the way you were living before. And that's the problem. The way that people obtain their fitness goal, and more importantly, keep their fitness goal and their weight and physique and, you know, eating habits and everything, is by changing their lifestyle and changing their habits and creating new good habits, getting rid of old bad habits. That could look like someone quitting soda. That could look like someone not going out to the bar with their friends a lot of the nights of the week. It looks different for everyone, but what's important is that what you're doing is something that you can do for the rest of your life and keep up with. They always say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but anyone can recreate their lifestyle. It's all about resilience and kind of just being sick of yourself, so you want to change. This is the whole reason why baby steps are so important, because you're retraining your brain how to live a new life. The one thing food-wise for me that really made the difference was I love white bread. No joke. I could just sit down and eat an entire loaf of white bread and love every second of it. Well, not anymore, because now it hurts my stomach. But what I did was I found the Dave's Killer bread. I found that as a substitute, and I found that I really like it, and it actually has a lot more flavor than white bread. And now I no longer eat white bread. I don't crave it. I don't even think twice. When I do eat it, my stomach bloats so bad it feels like a rock, which tells me that it was never good for my body in the first place. And I probably did feel like that oftentimes when I did eat it, and just didn't realize, because I always felt like that. So really implementing tip 2 and tip 3 is making sure you take the baby steps at finding out things that work for you, that you can teach yourself to implement every day, and that will be your new lifestyle. Old Alex never would have thought that she could ever give up white bread. And I do still have white bread sometimes. It just hurts my stomach, so I try and limit my intake of it. It's not like I'm saying goodbye to white bread forever. It's just see you a little less white bread, you know? Tip number 4. You need to understand your goals and educate yourself. There are so many free resources, like my channel, that you can understand from different perspectives and find your particular perspective and work from there. There are also resources that aren't free if you are skeptical and you're like, I don't know what articles are really correct. Like, what information am I feeding myself that's actually true? If you don't trust these, you can go to the library, check out some books, take a nutrition class, go online. You can take a personal trainer course without wanting to become a personal trainer, just to educate yourself. You can take any classes without planning to utilize them in like a career. But the thing is you can't follow someone, for example, who is on a fitness journey to build muscle when you're trying to lose weight, for example, because they're gonna be doing the exact opposite of what you're doing. They're gonna be eating in a caloric surplus and trying to burn the least amount of calories in their physical activity as they can. Whereas if you're trying to lose weight, you need to eat in a calorie deficit, which means that you're burning more calories than you're intaking, and probably implement more calorie burning exercise throughout your day. So it's really about understanding what you're trying to do, what your body type is, how your body works, because everyone is different, everyone's genetic makeup is different, and you gotta understand that you can't follow someone's regime and expect to have the same body they do, because your bone structure is gonna be different, where your fat stores is gonna be different, your muscle growth is gonna be different. So it's really about understanding what your goals are, educating yourself on every aspect that you can, and using the knowledge to build your body. Tip number 5, perfectionism will hold you back. A half-hearted attempt will get you a lot further than no attempt. The thing is, you should welcome failure. If you don't know what you're doing, that's awesome, because that means there's an opportunity for growth. Doing your best looks different every single day. You can't expect yourself to have the same energy and be in the same mindset and just think that things aren't gonna affect you differently every single day. And that's totally okay. Even people that just seem super happy every single day, sometimes they're putting on a face. The thing is, you shouldn't expect yourself to be perfect, and you shouldn't even expect yourself to be okay every day. We're human. Having emotions and feeling different is totally a part of the human experience. But definitely, I'm the kind of person that perfectionism has held me back in the past. If I felt like I couldn't give my all, or if I couldn't sit down and finish something in one go, I couldn't promise myself I was gonna go back to it. So I needed to wait for that perfect time where I was motivated and the time was right and the lighting was right and just irrelevant things that won't matter. Honestly, it's just kind of excuses to yourself saying, oh, I'm gonna wait until it's the right time. It's never gonna be the right time. So don't let little things like that hold you back. You need to understand that even though you don't feel like it, or even though you think that you're gonna look stupid, whatever's holding you back, say you're trying to work on going to the gym and you're like, oh, I'm just so tired today. Understanding that going to the gym anyways is gonna tell your body, hey, we work out at this time, or that we work out period, and we need to start creating extra energy. Because your body will do that. Give your body the credit, because it can do a lot more than you think. So yeah, don't let perfectionism hold you back, and as long as you're trying every day, that's all that matters, and that will still move you forward towards your goal. Tip number 6, the more familiar you are with something, the more comfortable your brain and your body become with it. I like to call it the threshold theory. The first time that you ever went into the gym, you were probably very intimidated, you didn't know what to do, you thought everyone was looking at you, you thought everyone thought that you looked stupid. Oh, look at this girl, she has no idea what she's doing. First of all, anyone that's actually going to the gym to work out is way too focused on their workout to be paying attention to anyone else. Chances are the people in the gym that are there to work on themselves are looking at you and saying, oh, I remember when I was there, how awesome, good for them. At least that's what I think anyways. So take an acquired taste, for example. I would say that like coffee is probably an acquired taste for a lot of people. Children don't tend to enjoy like black coffee. Even just coffee in general. But as you got older, you started drinking it and you started liking it. But the same goes for, say, like healthy eating. You can't expect someone whose taste buds are used to refined sugars and processed frozen dinner food, what are they called, like TV dinners. Like, you can't expect someone who's probably grown up with that and eaten that for a majority of their life, things like that. You can't expect them to just enjoy like healthier foods that they're unfamiliar with. Like I said, humans just tend to like things that they're familiar with. And so for me personally, I love sugar. I love sweets. And I used to be the kind of person that I would try like something that was like a healthier alternative to something sweet, like maybe like a brownie protein bar or whatever, and I'd be like, this tastes awful. And then once I switched over to, by using baby steps, switching over to foods that were healthier for me, and I started eating less sugar, less processed foods, less refined foods, a lot of sweets became like way too rich for me. And even if that wasn't the case, it got to the point where I was totally satisfied after a much smaller portion, because my body wasn't used to consuming that kind of food, or even like that much of that kind of food. This also goes for going to the gym, this goes for eating right, this goes for practically anything in life, that the more familiar you become with something, the more comfortable you are with it, and the more you embrace it, and the more that you tend to like it. So my advice is, even if something is awful the first time, whether it was an awful experience going to the gym or it was an awful experience eating healthier foods, stick with it, because chances are it'll get easier and more enjoyable each time that you try it, and do it. Tip number 7 is probably one of my favorite tips. I feel like it really resonates with a lot of people because a lot of people have pets and a lot of people love their pets and a lot of people treat their pets well. So I always say that you should treat yourself like a pet. So I have a puppy and I like to feed him food that is gonna make him grow strong and big and healthy and make him live a long, satisfying, enjoyable life. What that entails is, though I do feed him healthy stuff with the best ingredients, I do also like to give him treats. I love giving him treats because he's a good boy and he deserves them and I love him and it makes him happy. And it just goes around to creating an all-around enjoyable, happy life experience for him. You need that balance between being responsible and doing what's best for your body, which includes exercising and eating right, and also giving yourself that balance and those rewards and that treat to give yourself a pat on the back and say, hey, I deserve this, I'm doing great, keep going. Because in the end of the day, that is what's gonna help you keep going, is the little treats in life. So while I do think that your priority should be eating right and exercising, you should also prioritize treating yourself. And that looks different for everyone. Whether it's going out and, spending a little money on yourself, buying a new wardrobe, eating some cake. I freaking love cake. I could not imagine life without chocolate cake. It's important to make sure that you do have that balance because living a healthy lifestyle isn't just about being as healthy as possible. It's about living your life and living your life to the fullest and enjoying your life. If I'm gonna go over, like for example, if I'm gonna go to like Italy and travel, I'm gonna eat pasta. I'm gonna eat a lot of pasta, probably. And that's just about living your life, Treat yourself like you would your pet. Make sure you're feeding yourself right and exercising right, and also giving yourself a treat every now and then because you definitely deserve it. Tip number 8, and my final tip for this video, is probably one of the more important things to remember. Progress is not linear. A lot of people have the misconception that once they've started this new lifestyle, that's who they are now, and they don't make mistakes and they just make progress. And that is so not true. It's not even just like a fitness lifestyle, it's like anything you do. If you say that you start getting into painting and you're like, I'm a painter now, and then you do things that a painter wouldn't, that doesn't mean that you're not a painter anymore. When you mess up or go against the plans that you made, you're not setting yourself back. This literally happens to everyone. Like I said before, you can't expect yourself to be in the same headspace that you are day after day. Things happen. Emotions are real. Periods are a thing. Like, there's so much that goes into it. I couldn't tell you how many times I planned to go to the gym and didn't do it because I made up excuses or I just didn't feel like it. Or how many times I planned to eat a certain thing for dinner and got home and my mom made brownies and I was like, wow, I'm gonna eat 6 of these, and then did a lot of times. And I definitely didn't plan to, definitely didn't mean to, especially when I see chocolate, I just kind of like black out, I couldn't tell you how many times that's happened to me, and still to this day, it happens. And do I expect it to happen in the future? Absolutely, because it will. I know it will. Progress is something that you work on every day, and it looks different every day. I think what happens with a lot of people, for example, with eating, you've done so well, and like the entire week you've eaten so good, and you go and it's Friday night and you're out with your girlfriends and you go out to eat and everyone is eating delicious food, and then you get a burger and a soda and dessert, and then afterwards you go and you watch a movie and you eat some candy, and then you go to sleep, and then people wake up the next day and they're like, well, I just ruined it. Everything I did this week was for nothing. I might as well quit. I'll never be good enough. I'll never be able to stick to this fitness lifestyle. It's not for me. I'm just not even gonna attempt it. No! The thing is, it's a new day every day. It's a new hour every hour. It's a new minute every minute. Like, you can't identify yourself with your actions from the past. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone screws up. Everyone falls back every now and then. And it's important to remember that You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Literally, no one is perfect. It's okay to make a mistake every now and then, and you're not failing, you're not setting yourself back, you're learning. Chances are if you've eaten really clean all week and then you go and have that Friday night binge, chances are on Saturday you're gonna wake up feeling pretty sick. And you need to use that as reinforcement and say, hey, I did so good that my body doesn't even react well to this stuff anymore. Because it won't, it really won't. Understanding that happens to everyone and that you're not ruining your progress is super important, and give yourself a break. Give yourself a break. You don't expect your best friend to be perfect. Don't expect yourself to be perfect. If you wouldn't say it to your best friend, don't say it to yourself. You have to be just as nice to yourself. You can't guarantee anyone else is ever gonna be nice to you, so, give yourself a break. Give yourself a pat on the back, give yourself a treat, be nice to yourself. Every day is a new day. All right, so that is all I have for this video. I really hope that even just one of these tips resonated with you and can help put you in a better headspace, in a better mindset, and really help you understand the psychological aspects of starting a fitness journey can look like, and how you can better adapt to better ease yourself into a fitness lifestyle and eventually achieve your goals. If you do think this was helpful, please share with a friend, like and subscribe, and drop some feedback in the comments. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you back here sometime soon. And if you can only be one thing today, be kind, especially to yourself. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.